Chapter 8. Managing Human Resources and Labor Relations. This chapter describes the importance of effective human resource management. Specific human resource management activities that are discussed include planning activities, job analysis, job description, job specifications, forecasting, staffing, recruitment, selection, promotions, developing the workforce, orientation, training, performance appraisal, compensation, wages and salaries, incentive programs, comparable worth, providing human resource services, benefit programs, employee safety and health, retirement, the legal context of HRM, and challenges in the changing workplace. The chapter concludes with a discussion of the role of labor unions and business organizations. Topics that are covered include unionism today, the legal environment for unions in Canada, union organizing strategies, the collective bargaining process, and the use of independent third parties to help labor and management resolve their differences. The learning objective of today's lesson is that at the end of this lesson, you will be able to define human resource management, discuss its strategic significance, and explain how managers plan for human resources. Identify the issues involved in staffing a company, including internal and external recruiting and selection. Discuss different ways in which organizations go about developing the capabilities of employees and managers. Discuss the importance of wages and salaries, incentives, and benefit programs in attracting and keeping skilled workers. You will also be able to describe some of the key legal issues involved in hiring, compensating, and managing workers in today's workplace. Discuss workforce diversity, the management of knowledge workers, and the use of contingent and temporary workers as important changes in the contemporary workplace. Trace the evolution of, and discuss trends in, unionism in Canada. Describe the major laws governing unionism. Identify the steps in the collective bargaining process. Foundations of Human Resource Management, HRM. HRM is the set of activities that are directed at attracting, developing, and maintaining an effective workforce. HRM operates in a dynamic environment and is increasingly being recognized for its strategic importance. Effective organizational functioning requires human resources. The importance of HRM has grown dramatically in the last 2 decades. This is a direct result from the increased legal complexities, the recognition of the workforce as a valuable resource and the recognition of the costs associated with poor HRM. Human resource planning is the starting point for effective HRM and involves job analysis and forecasting the demand for the supply of labor. 1. Job analysis. This detailed study of the specific duties in a particular job and the human qualities required for that job forms the basis of the job description and job specification. These, in turn, are the basis for further personnel activities. 2. Forecasting HR demand and supply. Managers need to forecast the demand for employees of different types and the likely supply in the short, intermediate, and long term. Factors to be considered in doing so are discussed. Replacement charts list each important managerial position, who occupies it, how long the person will probably stay in it before moving on, and who is now qualified or soon will be qualified to move into it. More generally, to facilitate planning and to identify people for transfer or promotion, organizations may also use employee information systems, or skills inventories. These systems contain information on each employee's education, skills, work experience, and career aspirations. After comparing future demand and internal supply, managers can develop contingency plans to minimize the negative effects of a shortage of HR. Recruiting human resources. The process of attracting qualified persons to apply for jobs that are open is the focus of this section. Internal recruiting means considering present employees as candidates for openings, while external recruiting means attracting people from outside the organization to apply for jobs. Selecting human resources. Once the recruiting process has attracted a pool of applicants, the next step is select someone to hire. This involves gathering information from the applicants that will predict their job success and then hire the candidate that is most likely to be successful. To reduce the element of uncertainty, managers use a variety of techniques. Each organization develops its own mix of selection techniques and may use them in almost any order. 1. Applications forms, an efficient method of gathering information that is needed. 2. Tests of ability, aptitude, or knowledge that is relevant to a particular job are usually the best predictors of future job performance. 3. Interviews, a popular selection device, but due to biases this method is sometimes a poor predictor of job success. 4. Other techniques, company or industry-specific techniques are used, for example, physical exams, polygraph tests, etc. Page. Developing human resources. Employees must receive an orientation to their new job. They may also need additional training and development after being selected. New employee orientation. Orientation is the process of introducing new employees to the company's policies and programs, the co-workers and supervisors they will interact with, and the nature of their job. Orientation allows new employees to feel like part of a team and to become effective contributors to the organization more rapidly. Training and development. Most organizations find it effective to conduct training and development on a regular basis. This continuous training and development can improve the quality of the contributions the employee makes to the organization. On-the-job training. Employees gain new skills while performing them at work. Systematic job rotations and transfers. Employees are rotated or transferred from one job to another, building a more comprehensive view of the organization. Off-the-job training. Train workers away from the workplace. Also, management development programs, networking, and mentoring all help in training employees. Team building and group-based training. More and more organizations are using teams as a basis for doing work. Outdoor training exercises like Outward Bound are popular training initiatives. Evaluating employee performance. Performance appraisals are formal evaluations of how effectively employees are performing their jobs. They provide a benchmark to assess the extent that the recruiting and selection process is adequate, help in determining training and development requirements, and compensation issues. Most likely the immediate supervisor will conduct the appraisal. Providing performance feedback. Many managers are not effective when providing performance feedback, partly because they don't understand how to do it properly and partly because they don't enjoy it. As a result, managers may have a tendency to avoid giving negative feedback. But if employees are not told about their shortcomings, they will have no concrete reason to try to improve and will receive no guidance as to how to improve. Pay. A 360-degree feedback is a process through which feedback from an employee's subordinates, colleagues, and supervisor, as well as a self-evaluation by the employee themselves is gathered. 2. Methods for appraising performance. The nature of jobs today is such that we rely on judgments and ratings to appraise employee performance. In simple ranking, employees are ranked according to where they place compared to others, or groups of others. The forced distribution method involves grouping employees into predefined frequencies of performance ratings, for example, top 20%, next 30%, etc. The graphic rating scale asks appraisers to rate the individual's job performance by answering specific questions with answers that best suit the employee. The critical incident method involves the rater recalling examples of especially good or poor performance by an employee and then describing what the employee did, or did not do, that led to success or failure. Providing compensation and benefits. Compensation refers to the set of rewards that an organization provides to employees in exchange for their willingness to perform various jobs and tasks. Determining basic compensation. Wages generally refers to an hourly compensation paid to operating employees, while salaries usually refers to compensation stated in a monthly or yearly figure. Pay surveys. survey of compensation that others are paying, job evaluation, a job's value added to the organization, and pay structure, compensation based on the organization's assessment of the relative value to the organization of each job class, are three methods for determining basic compensation. 1. The impact of education on compensation. Education has an important influence on a person's salary. Individuals with a post-secondary degree make more money than those without one. They are also less likely to be unemployed, and they are more likely to end up in the top 1% of income earners. 2. The debate about executive compensation. The compensation received by top managers can be extremely large, in the millions of dollars annually, especially when bonuses are included. Critics have frequently questioned the wisdom of paying executives such large amounts of money, but most attempts to rein in executive salaries have not been very successful. Incentive programs. To encourage employees to work harder, many organizations offer rewards that are directly tied to higher levels of performance. 1. Individual incentives. With a piece rate system, an employee is paid a certain amount of money for every unit produced. With pay for performance, managers are rewarded for especially productive output. 2. Team and group incentives. These apply to all employees in the firm. These include profit-sharing plans, gain-sharing plans, and pay-for-knowledge plans. C. Benefits. Besides financial compensation, most organizations provide employees with an array of benefits. Some of these are mandated by law and others are optional for the organization. 1. Mandated protection plans. These include employment insurance, which provides subsistence for workers who are unemployed, the Canada Pension Plan, which provides income to retired workers, and workers' compensation, which covers individuals who suffer a job-related injury. 2. Optional protection plans. These include health coverage such as vision care, mental health services, dental care, and prescription drugs. 3. Paid time off. This includes vacations and sick leave. 4. Other types of benefits. Organizations may also offer other types of benefits including wellness programs, which concentrate on preventing illness, childcare benefits, elder care, and cafeteria benefit plans, which allow employees to choose the benefits they really want.